Hi, my name is John, and I'm an addict in recovery. And I want to talk about dealing with death. You know, it's a topic that a lot of people don't talk about because they don't want to deal with it. Until they have to, and then usually when you end up having to deal with it, it's not an easy situation. Um, like my first experience, with somebody dying that was close to me, I guess would have been my grandmother. And she was like my mother and stuff. And it was like I thought she was gonna live forever. Like I had, you know, like you know, I get, I every time the holidays come around, like I used to go spend, the holidays with her, like Christmas and stuff like that. We go to her house and spend the time with her, and of course, every time there was a family get together, like we would hang out in my grandmother's house, and when she passed away, like I remember talking to her, like the last conversation that I had on was on the phone, and I told her not to leave or not to pass away before I got to the hospital. And she said, "Well, I don't know if I can do that, and I didn't make it there in time, I didn't make it there." And I kind of like was going through something like because I was working and I had a job, and like the guy that I was working for, like he didn't want to let me go, and I was like, yo, I gotta go, like I gotta go, like I gotta go pay my respects, I gotta go, you know I have to go. And I was upset that he didn't let me go earlier so that I could see her alive. And anyway, it's neither here or there, but it was a real sad event. Like I thought I didn't have any reservations about using, and I sure felt like using after she died. And because I thought she was gonna live forever. I really did. At least I wanted her to live forever. But like it would have been really selfish of me, to want her to live forever and to suffer. Because she was gonna, she was old. She was in her 90s, and but I've had a few people pass away after that. Like, I had an uncle and my father, which, like I wanted to be there and I wasn't there. Well, I didn't want to be there. Actually, I'm saying that like I didn't want to be there, but I should have been there, and I feel like a little bit of regret for not being there when he was dying because I should have showed up for me, and because like I was acting on, on like trying to get him back or trying to be vengeful, and like death is like, like when somebody's dying, that's like, you know, that's the end, like that's their end, you know what I'm saying? Like like all the stuff that you hold on to, like everything that like everything that you think is important, that meant so much to you because you're angry or upset or you wanted to make a point or whatever. None of that stuff matters when somebody's dying. None of it. Like it's just like, yo, it's the end. Like, like just like get it over with. Like just like let it pass, or whatever. But don't hold on to it. Like it just doesn't matter. Like once you die, like none of that stuff matters. And like one of the things that I like I did have a couple experiences with death, and I remember like one time taking a hit and I ended up on my knees. My heart must have stopped, and I ended up on my knees, and like of course at that point I wasn't, I didn't care about dying, so I just turned around and said, man, I need another one, I need another hit. And but there, I've had, ever since I came into recovery, I've had some bouts, with, like when I had my bleeding ulcer and I almost died, and, like I fainted and I went into a black spell, and you know, like uh they put me in ICU, and you know, you get a different perspective, when when you you had to, when you dealt with death face to face, when it's come to your door, knocking on the door, like when you start seeing how, like, frail your body really is, like because like when you're growing up and you're a kid, you think you're invincible, and you think the world is like you think that nothing's gonna hurt you, like you ain't never gonna die, and like you don't even think about death, what I'm saying, because you got like a whole life ahead of you, so like when you get older, or older, whichever way you want to look at it, like you start like having health problems or health issues, and you end up in the hospital and stuff, and on an operating table or something like that, and you get a different perspective about what's important and what's not. You get a different perspective about, like saying, oh, I had to prove a point, or I had to be a certain way, with my kid, and I'm gonna be mean to her. I'm gonna put her out because she's not living the way I want her to live, or doing what I want her to do, and like you put all, and all that stuff doesn't matter. Like once you're like like once you're passing away, or like when you're gone, like none of that stuff's not gonna matter. Like if they used you, or if they didn't use you, or if they didn't do it right, or if they, like it just doesn't damn matter. You know what I'm saying? And the one thing, you know, that I notice about death is like, like I miss my grandmother. Like I miss the people that have died. Like I had a sponsor that died, and I miss his presence. I miss I miss my grandmother a lot. And that void is always there. Like, like sometimes I want to get on the phone and call her up and talk to her and stuff like that. And matter of fact, it makes me want to cry, just not being able to do that. Like not being able to sit down and have those conversations with my grandmother, and her telling me, that always to look for the good in everybody, and and always being optimistic, because she was very optimistic. She had, some of the most, like she had, she was just she was just profound. Like when she would talk to you, she would like, like, I mean, like she bring you into the moment. Like I used to feel like I was in the moment with my grandma. So like, I can't say enough for her, and like I'm not lying when I turn around and tell you, man, like she was like the greatest. She made the best chicken, and and I still miss her. I miss her a lot. And I can't imagine, like, like I've had some friends that, you know, that have lost some people in their life, and I and I hurt for them, because I know what it feels like. I know, what it feels like to lose somebody that you love, you know, um, and and that you didn't want to lose them, and that that you wish they were here, and some of them left, young or old or anything, but it's never easy. It's never easy dealing with someone passing away, or not being here, or remembering their smile, remembering their laughter, remembering, and just looking, just thinking about, and I've had some uncles that, sometimes I wish I spent more time with them, and you know I mean, I have a lot of family right now that I wish I could spend more time with, because, like I know none of us are gonna get out of this alive. Ain't none of us getting out of this alive, and I say that and my hairs stand up, like because, that's something that I'm gonna come face to face with, and I have to welcome it, you know, because none of us are getting out of it alive. So, but if you had somebody who passed away, I just want to say I love you, and hang in there. You have to learn to live with the feeling, because the feeling's not going to go away. That's one feeling that doesn't go away, and the void doesn't go away. And you just learn to live with it. You learn to live with the absence, with them not being here, and anyway, if nobody told you they love you today, I love you, and so does the God of my understanding. And